When I received the invitation to become part of this colloquium, I immediately said yes. Of course, I was very, very excited because I am a fan of legal scholarship and the exchange of ideas among the academy, members of the academy. And this excitement turned into joy when I received the chapter on human rights cases from the Marcos dictatorship. This is because the chapter deals with something that is reflected, I think, in election season. What is fake news, the role of courts, etc., and the fact that this chapter intersects with my own research interests. And that is the role of courts, or what I call the history writing function of courts. So, Judge Pangalangan's approach here, I think what he was trying to present in chapter 7 is how we can use American courts and Philippine to do, enforce the rights of human rights victims during the Marcos regime. And the thesis, I think, so far as this chapter is concerned, is that there is a conflict between those victories and the way they are implemented by local courts. I mean, the assertion that ill-gotten wealth should take precedence over the rights of human rights victims. And in this effort, just as he did with the other chapters, he presents excerpts from the materials to enable the readers themselves to come to a conclusion, what really happened. And I excerpted this part from the book. I'm sorry, this is not the excerpt. And I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to do in this presentation is show how this book can serve other goals beyond its academic function, which is to teach law. And that because we have a candidate for president who is relying on his father's record in lieu of his own campaign platform of government. And this discourse, the election discourse, is clouding, is clouded by historical revisionism or denialism. That's what we are seeing right now because we're now entitled apparently to our own truths. And this is why I think Judge Pangalangan's book becomes indispensable. Because it helps, that's a role to play in this situation that we have now. I will use a lot of images because I'm just cooler than the other panelists. Okay? I mean, they know that. It's not even a contest. And look what I'm talking about here. It is Bongbong Marcos who is claiming to be the victim of fake news. Right? So on one hand, you have one of the candidates who says that he's a victim of fake news. And on the other, he appears to be, or his camp appears to be the proponent of fake news. And this is why Twitter has suspended hundreds of accounts supporting Bongbong Marcos's presidential bid, apparently because of a violation of his rules on manipulation and spam. So this is where we are right now, where everyone can assert his or her version of the truth. And of course, the passion we exert in elections has an effect on what really happened during martial law. And these are some of the figures that are circulating right now in social media. And 70,000 imprisoned during Marcos's the martial law, 34,000 tortured, 3,000 killed. And if you don't like Rappler, you look at other media sources. I think this is GMA, where they talk about ill-gotten wealth. How much of it is there? How much of it we've recovered, etc. And we're not even, the blurring of truth affects how the economy was during Marcos' time. On one hand, one camp saying the golden years of the Philippines, the other side saying it really wasn't. So again, we have a problem. There are other things that are getting buried in in a social media war. Pro Marcos, people asking, well, if she's guilty, then why is she not in prison? So, which brings up the necessity of reading the Sandigan Bayan cases, finding Mrs. Marcos guilty. Apparently, the Marcos estate has a debt in the amount of, well, how much of it? 203 billion, right? But look at the response of the Marcos camp. It's fake news, even if there is a Supreme Court decision saying exactly that the estate owes that much to the Republic of the Philippines. Look what came up yesterday. His party asked Supreme Court for certificate of finality, but the estate tax says due on the property. What interests me about that last part is that you go to court. I'm not sure what the cause of action is in this case because I didn't read anything else, just the social media part. But it shows how we rely on courts for the truth. Apparently, if the Supreme Court certifies it, then it is true. So I'm not sure what kind of case that is, but that's what they're planning to do. And I bring these up because I would have thought these are questions that can be easily settled if you knew what to read, if you knew where to go. And that is why, again, this book is important. This is